Hey there everybody, how we all doing? Today I wanted to show off my top 5 pilot loadouts. These are by request by a lot of people. They wanted to see, what are the loadouts that I use all the time, exactly, down to every little detail, so here we go. I'm not trying to claim that these are the best loadouts in the game or the most practical or anything like that. It's just what I personally enjoy the most and what I use the most. So without much further ado, let's get started. So all 5 of these loadouts are going to be very, very identical. The only thing that's really going to be changing between them is my choice of arc grenades versus frag grenades and, the primary weapon along with attachment. But everything else, like Stim, power cell, Warpfall transmitter, mag launcher, and Wingman, is going to be staying pretty consistent throughout every loadout, and I'll talk about why at the very end. So in this first loadout, we're going to be using an R97 with Scatterfire, along with all those kind of staples that I just mentioned, and we're going to be choosing frag grenades with it. So basically with this loadout, what I'm going to be doing is, in a game that's heavily populated by Carbine users, by Hemlock users, maybe even by DMR users, where I don't feel that I can quite get close enough with my shotgun in order to really be a threat to those kind of people and compete with them properly, I'm going to be using the R97 as kind of a counter pick to them, so I have at least a little bit of a range to my primary weapon, so I can challenge them more effectively, and along with the Wingman that I already have to kind of pack some extra heat at the longer ranges that my R97 is not at all useful in. So basically I want to just use it as a counter pick, kind of, to challenge other people's aim, to make sure, okay, if I get in close enough to you, are you able to aim well enough to kill me before I can kill you when I have the fastest time to kill a weapon in the game? So basically I just want to challenge those kind of people and, be very aggressive with this loadout. This is not something that I'm going to pick right off the bat. This is something that I'm going to counter pick with if my shotgun, which is my main pick usually, is not going to be working as well as I would like. The second kit that I'm going to be going for is the Kraber AP Sniper with extended mags, as well as frag grenades, and then all the other staples that I've already mentioned. Basically with this one, this is a less than serious kind of loadout. This is just something I'm going to pull out in public games, just kind of for the hell of it, just because I feel like it, just because I feel like, having some fun, I mean, I could use it in a more competitive game against players that I know are going to be, posting up on roofs and playing mid, and trying to challenge those mid players to keep moving, or suffer a one-shot death from me as I'm, flying around the map. But, I mean, I don't know. I'd rather just bring a Wingman in that situation. I'd rather just try and Wingman that player as opposed to Krabering them. It's generally not something I would really recommend, but it's definitely a fun loadout for public kind of random games like that. It's also important to note kind of how I approach one-on-one duels when I'm using this loadout. So I'm going to be going for that quick scope with the Kraber at close range, if I'm in a fight like that every single time. And whenever I miss, I'm either going to, well, I guess after every shot, I'm immediately going to be pressing 2 to switch over to my Wingman every single time without fail. I'm going to be doing that because I don't know if I'm going to be missing a shot or not, and I don't want to waste any time in case I do. I'm also going to be having the frag grenades at the ready, so, if I know that my Wingman is not reloaded, or I'm just in a situation where I don't feel like I'm going to be able to snipe somebody out with a Wingman and I want to just frag them, I'm going to be bringing frags with me on this loadout, just so I can, take a shot and immediately pull the pin on a frag and, take an enemy out that way if I'm not confident my shot is going to kill them, or if I know there's more than one that's around me. Loadout number 3 is going to be kind of my staple loadout, the one that I'm always going to start a game with, just to kind of evaluate my enemy team and see where they're at, and see, what their play style is, how they react to me. So this is going to be my EVA-8 shotgun loadout. I'm going to be using the shotgun with extended mags and arc grenades. So basically why I'm choosing arc grenades over frags is that I want the ability just to damage an enemy pilot very quickly and then finish him off with, a 1-2 punch of the arc grenade and a shotgun, or vice versa. I damage them with a shotgun and then I can finish them with an arc grenade because they explode super, super fast and have a massive range. I don't really need to be able to snipe people with those frags just because I'm going to be so focused on getting in close to them by using my Stim that, I mean, the frags, like, pulling the pin on a frag is only going to slow me down and kind of get my mindset away from tracking enemies like I need to with the shotgun. I mean, it's not that frags are a bad choice. I would definitely, I use them on a lot of other loadouts that are very aggressive, but for this one in particular, I want that really, really easy brain-dead effectiveness. I don't want to have to think and cook my frags and do any of that kind of boring stuff. I want to be able just to herp derp mash my F key on my keyboard and smack a bunch of arc grenades in their faces and not have to think whatsoever and just be a complete idiot and, you know, blow everything up ever. So that's kind of my choice for those. Plus, I mean, they're obviously completely overpowered against Titans as well. You know, they drop shields, they blind them, make it so I can maneuver around those Titans with no thought whatsoever, that I can engage them with my mag launcher and do massive damage to them. I can throw an arc grenade between reloads so they can't see me while I'm vulnerable and reloading. They're just an excellent ordnance, and they're going to complement everything I'm trying to do with the shotgun, which would be very, very aggressive and force enemy players to retreat and run away from me and give me ground. Loadout number 4 is going to be kind of another one of those public games, just kind of for funsies loadouts. It's going to be a Hemlock BFR with a Starburst attachment and a Holosight. And I think it's with Frag Grenades. So I don't really use this loadout very often, as you can tell, because I'm not even sure which ordnance I use on it. But this is something that I use, you know, when I want to kind of parkour around and play like I have a Kraber, but I don't feel like using the Kraber itself. So I'm going to use the Hemlock as if it is a Kraber. So basically I'm just going to be, you know, bunny hopping all over the place, trying to wall run, just trying to be moving like crazy and, you know, and try to position myself to get pot shots on people who are moving slowly or, you know, are camped up, kind of trying to control mid, stuff like that. So I can pop up, you know, challenge Carbine users, and I can kill them faster than they can kill me, just because Hemlock's time to kill is absurd, especially if you're able to get one of your shots being a headshot. And given that Hemlock with Starburst has massive recoil, getting those headshots is pretty easy. So I'm definitely going to be going for those one burst kills with this loadout. But it's just a for funsies kind of thing, you know. It's not like not something that I would ever bring into a serious game. Then loadout number 5 is going to actually be a Carbine. Now, it's going to be a Carbine with extended mags and Holosight and then Frag Grenades again. So with this loadout, basically, I kind of feel like whenever I'm going to be using this loadout is when none of my other loadouts are working. You know, when the hyper-aggressive kind of playstyle is just not going to work. No matter how hard I try, no matter how I approach the enemies, I know that approach is just not going to be fruitful for me. I need something that's more effective at a longer range that I can play a slower, pokey kind of style with, and the Carbine is able to fill that role very well. It has basically no recoil. It's pretty much a laser beam at all ranges up to like at least like 50 meters. Then it might be a little bit much, but then you just burst fire, no big deal. And, you know, kills in 4 shots. I don't know. I mean, I think that it's a very, very powerful weapon at all ranges, be it close range, medium range, or very far range. Doesn't really matter. The Carbine is excellent at all of them. Doesn't require a whole lot of thought. Just point and shoot and you win. As long as the other person isn't using, like, you know, like a DMR or Kraber or something that can one-shot kill you. I mean, it's kind of hard to outshoot a Carbine if you have good aim. I will use Stim with this just because I want to be able to challenge other Carbine users. I want to be able to, like, once I see them, I can Stim up. Whether I'm close to them or far away doesn't matter. I want to be able to Stim so I can take that one extra shot from their Carbine and be sure that, you know, I'm living as long as possible and I'm giving myself the best opportunity to kind of counter Carbine them and then push forward and put pressure onto their base. You know, be it, like, I'm assuming a CTF kind of game here. That's kind of how I would approach it. This is going to be a competitive game, counter-pick loadout only. This is not something I'm going to choose in a public game by choice. I'm only going to choose it when I absolutely need to use this loadout. I mean, unless I'm practicing with it, just to make sure my aim is on point in a public game, but that's kind of different. You know, like, in a public game where I'm just playing, you know, by myself just to try and win, I'm never going to choose this loadout unless I feel that I absolutely, really, really need to switch over to it. This is just my emergency loadout. Alright, so next up, let's talk about those staple kind of loadout choices that are pretty much the same throughout all the loadouts and why I choose each of those. So first, let's talk about the mag launcher. So I generally play objective-style game modes like CTF, I guess mostly CTF. And what's really important in Capture the Flag, and to a pretty equal extent in Mark for Death, is the ability to knock enemy pilots off of their friendly Titans' backs. You know, so a friendly rodeo on the enemy team. I want to be able to knock pilots off those backs because they're going to be carrying flags or they're going to be marks. And, you know, those are both my objectives that I'm trying to, to work towards. So mag launcher is going to allow me to punch through enemy well, I guess not punch through shields, but once shields are down, I can actually splash those pilots off the Titan backs. So I want to be able to have that capability at all points in time, even if it means that I don't have, quote-unquote, the best anti-Titan weapon out there anyways, but it's still a very, very solid anti-Titan weapon. However, if I'm in a game like Attrition or Hardpoint or Pilot Hunter, I'm oftentimes going to switch over to a charge rifle because I'm not really concerned with those rodeos anymore. I just want to be able to kill an enemy Titan as fast as humanly possible, from as safe of a position as humanly possible, and the charge rifle is going to allow me to do that, plus with the possibility for those critical hits that do like 3,000 damage. Ugh, I need it. So I'm definitely going to be going for that whenever possible. Wingman for the secondary. It's a pretty easy one, 2-shot kill from any range, 1-shot headshot from, I believe, from any range. It's an amazing secondary, it's a pocket sniper rifle, it really is. I mean, the thing is just as good, if not better, than a DMR. Just because you're not pigeonholed into those really long scopes that you don't ever need. So I really enjoy it. I use it on all my loadouts. I find no reason not to use it because it's extremely effective at point blank and it's extremely effective at long range, and there's nowhere that it's not a good choice. So I always recommend the Wingman for every loadout, pretty much no matter what. As for Stim, well, I mean, you guys, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you already know why I like Stim so much, but I'll kind of keep it brief for you. So, Stim is going to allow you to move faster and regenerate health. So I can challenge Smart Pistol users, I can challenge Carbine users, I can challenge a handful of users of other weapons to hit me one extra time in order to kill me unless they're pulling off a headshot somewhere, some way. Plus, I get to move faster and cover more ground on the map very, very easily. So if I'm playing CTF, I can get into an enemy base or get out of an enemy base very, very easily, and regenerate health the entire time. I mean, I don't play slowly enough to make a active radar pulse very, very useful to me. Plus, the glowing orange shadows are very disorienting to me. I mean, if I play exclusively with radar pulse for a couple of days, I can get used to it, but I mean, I find it hard to switch away from it and back into it with different loadouts and have any kind of real success. So generally, I'm not going to ever run that. I'm going to be Stim pretty much all the time, unless I'm going for a specifically anti-Titan loadout, like in Last Titan Standing, like with an LMG with Slammer. Then I'll run Stealth Kit and Cloak, but otherwise it's going to be Stim with Power Cell pretty much all the time, because I want that Power Cell to be able to get the Stim up as often as I possibly can. And I guess that'll lead into our very last kit choice, which was Warpfall Transmitter, and this video is running kind of long, so instead of explaining why I go into that, you can check a link in the description box below, which shows another video that I put out not too long ago, where I go into way too much detail into why I like Warpfall Transmitter so much. So if you're interested about that one, then check the link in the description box below, and you can check out why I choose that. But I think that's going to pretty much wrap up my top 5 loadouts here. So again, these aren't like the best loadouts in the game, or the most effective loadouts in the game, or the most MLG Pro status loadouts in the game. These are what I personally use and what I enjoy the most and what I have the most fun with, along with a couple ones that I find effective in competitive play as well. So, hope you guys enjoyed, hope you learned something new. Please like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.